Talkin' Country. You're listening to Talkin' Country with Paul Taylor.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Talking Country UK, where we'll be talking to the artists from around the world of country music. From Nashville to UK, Ireland and to Australia, you'll get it here, right on Talking Country UK. If you like us, give us the big thumbs up. Well, that was a brilliant song by Kay Stark called Misbehaving, off the album Misbehaving. It was produced by John Forbes, and by luck, John's joining us all the way from Miami. How you doing, John?
Awesome. How are you, sir?
We're doing well, considering there's easing of lockdown today. Just come by, the Prime Minister's said, oh, there's a little bit of a loosening up of things over here, because we've been sort of quite strict lockdown really since January. How's things over there?
Down here in South Florida, it's a little loose. I got my first shot I have a studio in a home in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I'm based out of currently, but we'll be moving down here. They're a little bit loose down here. So my ex-wife works at the CDC, and she tried to keep me on point. So I'm extra careful here.
I had my jab a couple of weeks ago. I felt a bit rough after it, a couple of days after it, but it seems to be the norm, doesn't it, with the jabs? But it's putting the stuff in though, which we can't fault. And like I said, we can only look forward and upwards. But I'm really intrigued about the old project, really, of taking Kay's music and giving that revamp. I mean, what drove you to that?
Well, I have to give the credit for the projects to Thomas Gramuglia, who owns the Hindsight. It's a label group of multiple imprints, but he owns Hindsight Records. He got from Wally Hyder, who's a famous recordist from the big band era. And I'd done two different gospel projects for him on solo piano, and one was a small ensemble. And we were just not good. He didn't know my background or whatever, and I saw his lineup, and I thought, we just started knocking around the idea, and then I came up with the idea of the Reimagined series, where we take the historic recordings. I was up there for 6 months when COVID first started a year ago, January, and got to see the archives, and it was amazing. Our distributors are from Glasgow. And they came over, and Gary Gillies was a Maynard Ferguson trumpeter, and he sat in the archives, just quiet. It's insane. And you can look at the original recordings, the tapes, and see the original handwriting. And back when, and trust me, I'm classically trained. I went to Berklee College of Music for orchestration. I've performed in England. Well, my first gig was with Bobby Brown.
Oh, wow.
We sold out Wembley Arena 17 nights straight. We did 3 sold out nights at Birmingham at the NEC, and then 3 encore sold out back at Wembley. I just recently sold out the O2 with Neo.
Wow.
I produced the show, which was amazing. You guys, my family's from Edinburgh, so
right.
My family's
So Scottish.
Scottish.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I got to work at LH2 in London, which is the finest production studio for concerts I've ever, and I've worked all over the world. It's just amazing the competency over there. So Tom, when he finally realized that I had this love and knowledge of this music, I studied a lot of this stuff. We tried. The first one was Doris Day. He called me 1 hour after she died, and I worked with Les Brown Jr., who was amazing. We got him to get the clearance with the families, and all these projects I did with Tom are with the blessings of the estate or the families. So that as well, it was awesome. So we did Doris Day, which was released in the UK first. It did extremely well, and then once I went up to New York, COVID happened, and I did Patti Page next, and then K-Star. So K-Star and Patti were COVID babies.
Wow.
So I personally got to do the forensic audio on the files, and then I get to orchestrate the stuff as well.
It's quite interesting. We were just talking slightly off air there, and we were saying that Kay's your mother's, one of your mother's favorites.
Well, Kay Sarah was one of Doris Day's favorites. Patti Page, because Patti and K-Star also had country careers. My mom was from a little town in Mississippi called Amory. So even though I grew up on the coast of Florida, she would sing those when she was cooking dinner at night. And so I grew up with that. And then my dad, he had a chain of music stores. So he was a theater organist. And then I started studying piano with an Austrian pianist when I was 4.
Wow.
So I was always exposed to beautiful, beautiful music. And let me tell you something, after working with as music director for Christina Aguilera and Jessica Simpson, I played with Whitney Houston as well.
Wow.
These older artists, Doris, K-Star, Patti Page, and then the last one I did was Sarah Vaughan, which will be released towards the end of this year. Their instruments, their voices are stunning.
Yes.
Sarah Vaughan, for example, like K-Star, when they would sing a note, I could stand the whole orchestra on top of them, and it was never loud enough. They were so amazing. And it's a tonality and a purity of their vocal character that I can't say enough about that.
And no gimmicks. Yeah, back in them days, no gimmicks. There was no auto-tuning and all that kind of shenanigans.
I get goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now telling you about it, because it's I'm an orchestra child, so their voice, their instrument inside the orchestra was pure, it was beautiful, really beautiful.
It's quite interesting because Doris Day was one of my mum's favorites. My mum's still alive. I mean, she just she absolutely loved the films, the song, the voice. And wait till I tell her that I've been speaking to you as well. And
Doris was an amazing project.
It's just phenomenal. And it's a great idea, isn't it? Because I mean, just to give you a flavour of where I am at the moment, where I'm based, I live, and you'll get this, I live 15 miles away from Liverpool. So all the Beatles, I grew up on the Beatles. And
a friend of mine's father is a DJ in Liverpool, older guy. His wife is a Scouser, yeah.
Oh, right. So you know.
Ray Kennedy. He records over there quite a bit.
Yeah,
Dear
I've heard his name.
He's my mentor.
Oh, wow. I've heard of him a few times. Yeah. Because Liverpool, it's always been synonymous with the Beatles. And what I live in is in a place called St. Helens, which is about 15 miles away. And the Beatles was playing what the bingo halls now. And they used to play there, like in the 59, 60. I was born in 61, and it was growing up on that. And You know, I've still got the vinyl record somewhere, you know, in the loft somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great thing, and like you said, you've been well versed, and your music carries itself from like reggae.
Oh yeah.
You know, which I'm a massive reggae fan. I mean,
we
obviously
were nominated for the Grammy in 1989.
exactly, yeah. You know, and one of
I
my
know all the
favorite.
guys from the UK, all the reggae artists. Steel Pulse, we opened for Steel Pulse.
I was
So
just going
David
to say
Hines,
Steve
Grizzly
Pulse.
Nesbitt, the drummer. Yeah, dear friends of mine.
And I was going to say Steel Pulse, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously Bob Marley is a big favorite of mine, but I hooked on to Steel Pulse. That would be around about early 80s, 81. Handsworth Revolution is one of the finest albums ever.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
And I did go to a concert in Manchester. I don't know if you was there then. Would you support them around about that time? I think it was their first tour. It was the Handsworth Revolution tour.
We didn't perform with them in the UK. They came and did a US tour. So with them, I only performed in the United States.
Ah, right. But they were phenomenal.
When I was with Bobby, I met with everybody. We had dinner. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, wow. That's such great stuff, isn't it? I mean, like I said, I'm a performer myself of quite a few years, and there's a place in Yorkshire in Leeds, and it was just a normal social club, you know, seats about 60, 70 people. But what I didn't realize, it was owned by Rastafarians, and they used to just rent it out to country music and stuff. And I got there really early, and I'm setting up my speakers and my PA, and because it was just me, just doing my own sound and whatever. And I could hear this boom, boom. But the melody and the coming out of the bass, I'm thinking to myself, that sounds familiar, that song. And it was a Vince Gill song. So when I go next door, there was these speakers 7 foot high, and these Rastafarians just smoking whatever they do, just sat there drinking and chilling. And I come in and I hadn't a clue what they were talking to me about. They were talking to me in obviously the Rasta stuff, and I just said, "Love this music." And he went, "Oh, pull up a seat and have a beer." And it was, I can't remember, one of Vince Gill's classics. I can't even remember what it is now, but it was done to a reggae beat, and this boom, boom. And all the ground was shaking, you know, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's awesome. So I'm actually work at the Circle House Studios here in Miami, where it's like Compass Point in Nassau, Bahamas, Studio One in Kingston, Jamaica, where all the Rastas were. So here in the United States is the main place is called Circle House. Inner Circle is a reggae band.
Yeah, no, Inner Circle. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I got to work there recently as well.
And you've done a lot of work within the TV side of things, haven't you? You've done some producing on that. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I stopped in 2004. I lost my home in the earthquake in California.
All right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 1994. And I made a decision to start producing music. And in doing that, I did a couple of films and TV shows in Los Angeles. I was a session player. And fast forward to Tyler Perry, I did Rick James and the promoters that handled Rick James. I did his last 2 tours and an album. He gave me credit for arranging Urban Rhapsody.
Oh, so
he was like
I'm a massive Rick James fan. I mean, You and I is one of my favorites.
He was a genius, musical genius. The promoters that handled him had discovered Tyler Perry and asked me to put a band together for Tyler Perry, which, you know, through his career was Broadway and off-Broadway stage plays. I did 7 for him. Wow. And then I did his first 2 films on Lionsgate. And then immediately after his Lionsgate deal, he had the television deal, TBS. And that just by association, I was privy to the TV producers, and they were aware of my music. I have an amazing set of agents that get placements for me. But now it's all kind of come to fruition where I have a partner who is Richard Williams, Venus and Serena Williams' father, his son, Shavante Lassane, who's down here, and we have multiple movies that are greenlit as of today. I asked him before I talked to you if it was okay that I mentioned it, and so we have the Richard Williams story. We're doing a documentary. We also brokered the deal with Will Smith called King Richard about the father. That will be released, I think, before the first of the year. We're trying to get the documentary out prior to.
Yep.
So when the feature film is released, we get a bump. We are currently working on The American Ringer, which is about a Brit named Alan Benning, who was the guy that trained racehorses over there.
Wow.
It's not a true story, but it's about substituting younger horses. It's unheard of. It's statistically impossible, they say. And he has a mob side to this thing with the Spanish mafia. They followed him over to the United States, where he changed his identity, and it's amazing. I spent 2 days ago on a yacht in South Beach Harbor interviewing him on camera with a whole team of camera operators and sound. It's amazing.
Wow.
And we're doing 2 reenactments this week, and continue on with that film. It's been super busy.
Well, I can imagine. And obviously with COVID, it gets more and more difficult, doesn't it, with social distancing and things like that.
Yes,
yeah. But wow, it's just, I'm trying to take it all in at the moment. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's amazing. I mean, what else is in the pipeline? I say what else because you're so busy. What else beyond that have you got planned? Are you doing more of these albums where you're going to?
Yes, we're talking about a Rosemary Clooney album.
Oh, yes.
Which I'll do. I finished the Sarah Vaughan album, which isn't released yet. Will be released before the end of the year. I started my own record company, 4Jam Records. And it'll be releasing. I just recorded a couple. So I have a 10-year-old daughter whose mom is Colombian. She's bilingual. So we've done a couple of reggaeton children's songs.
Oh, brilliant.
And so I'll be doing a lot of Spanish language music. I love salsa, merengue, cumbia, all the Latin music. I also do Rai music from Algeria. So
is there anything that you don't do?
If it's music, no, I appreciate all music.
Good.
You know what I mean? I really appreciate all music. I don't make a difference. I saw an article today that was in Russian television, RT, about Oxford wanting to declassify the works of Bach and the piano, the black and white keys of the piano, and the manuscript paper with the notes that music is actually written on, as being based in racism. All I can tell you is that such an immense body of history, I can't imagine losing it because of an ideology that came these days, as opposed to 500 years of growth and culture. It's just, I was just talking to my friend, he's from Rome, Italy. His father was Morricone's partner, Alessandro Alessandroni. And we call each other all the time, and he'll say, homie, check out Shostakovich Symphony No. 5, 20 seconds in, go. And I'll be in a session with somebody and I'll stop everybody and I'll go on YouTube and I'll check it out. It's like, our music is, in my opinion, gives people the ability to feel emotions that they're not able to on their own.
Yeah.
That music gives us the ability to relate to one another. Like I'm relating to you. You and I have a common ground that's solely based on the fact that we love and appreciate music.
Absolutely. And it's got me through dark times, especially with COVID, and luckily I've had this, obviously I've not been performing only a couple of times last year, but the radio has got me more busy, more opening doors, and Bev has been an absolute gem of a lady. I mentioned her I want to get her interviewed on here. She keeps shying away from her. Oh, she's brilliant.
Yeah, I love her to death.
And I mean, it was really nice because we've got a common bond. I mean, we know people, because I've toured over here with a few Americans as well, been their tour manager and support and sound and done all that. And that's forged links over there and into Nashville and the like. And I've reached out to a few people now from Australia to Canada, you name it, and it's been an absolute eye-opener for me as well. I'm talking to songwriters, producers of music, not just artists, because it's all cogs. There's no cog bigger than the other one to make it go, whether you're a producer, songwriter, or an artist. You all have to go in sync to make it work.
That's true.
Doesn't it? Because I mean, you get a smaller cog and it won't work. That's why you don't get a hit, because you're not in sync. You're not in line with everybody.
Absolutely true.
you know, and I'm just in awe of like yourselves, songwriters, musicians, you name it, you know, because obviously I come from a different, you know, I'm on a different level, but I appreciate music. I always have done, whether it's country, whether it's rock, whether it's pop. You know, a couple of things I struggle with. Rap, I struggle with a little bit, to be fair.
Yeah.
And that's only because I'm a culture, you know, nothing else, you know, but and obviously being brought up on the Beatles, which it's not too bad.
Yeah. No, I feel fortunate as well. But my rap music was an issue for my father as well before he died, and I tried to help him understand and share with him a lot, because I've known some of the greatest rappers in the United States, at least, and worked with them and showed him that it was a way for him to appreciate their position in the inner city. And my dad he was active in the civil rights movement in the South. He was one of the first music stores in the Florida Gulf Coast to sell a black church in Oregon.
Wow.
And he got chased out of town by the Ku Klux Klan twice with it on the dedication of the organ. So he didn't understand the rap thing. And I got him lyrics and let him read the lyrics. And he definitely had a greater appreciation of it. But do you understand that also that without overlooking the fact that the rap music is based on Nyabingi, which is based on the African rhythm, based on the primary vibration of the earth, but it's not the same conversation in regards to music harmonically, which is great music, country music, classical music, jazz music. Some of the greatest, you know, African-American musicians were some of the greatest jazz musicians.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody would agree with that harmonic sensibility is a whole other conversation, which is why we always have to step back and look at the rap thing. But lyrically and rhythmically valid for sure.
And whereabouts in Florida are you based?
Well, I'm in Miami, South Beach.
Oh, you're in Miami, right?
Yeah. And I have a home and a studio in Raleigh, North Carolina, as we speak. And I will be before June, probably move my whole operation back down here.
I've done the Orlando thing. I've done that quite a few times over the years.
So my record label's based in Orlando.
I actually performed a gig because when we last went over, I'm going back probably 18 years ago now. And my daughters were really young, and I got on the internet and on magazines, and I found a couple of clubs there, and I said, "Oh, hey, I'm coming over on vacation. I am an artist. Here's some of my music. Here's my website, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, come and do a night." And it was it was just outside of Orlando. It took about 30-minute drive. I wouldn't, you know, but I've kept in touch with different people over there and through Facebook. Yeah. And one particular guy was amazing. He was doing the line dancing choreography, which we're quite big in line dancing over here. And he came over, introduced himself, and introduced me to a friend who was there that evening, who lives about 10 miles away from where I live. I went, I'm in the back and beyond in Florida. I'm meeting somebody 10 miles from where I live. And anyway, it transpired where he had a line dance event, actually where my hotel was in Orlando. And as we're checking out, he said, "Oh, there's a box here for you, Mr. Taylor." And I opened it up, and it was T-shirts with all his, you know, memorabilia and merch.
Amazing.
And I kept in touch with him still to this day. And it's just an amazing place. And I always wanted to go. I know my wife has gone down to Miami before we got together, and she loved it.
So the culture here is completely different. Like New Orleans, there's subcultures, but the weather here is amazing. It's 86 degrees right now, Fahrenheit, 86.
Oh,
yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you see my head. I was snow white when I got down here less than 2 weeks ago, and now I'm starting to get a tan. And actually waiting on a Panama fedora hat that I ordered from Domenico's in Manhattan. It's on its way here as we speak.
Cool, dude. Yeah. I mean, one of the times we went to Orlando, I say Disney and all that, was actually Boxing Day. because we thought we'd have the Christmas day with the family and stuff. And we went on Boxing Day up until probably mid-January. And even then it was like 80, 78 degrees, something like that nature. And it's like amazing. And it's like, I've just got, I had a really good chat with the Bellamy brothers last year, came on the show, and they live down there, and they're going, it's just humid, so humid here. And I'm going, and it was raining outside where I was looking. We're quite fortunate. Next 3 days, we're going to have they're saying a heat wave, which is probably about 65 degrees over here this time of year. You know, but I remember years ago, just finally, I was on about one of my friends had some family, I think it was his aunt and his uncle in Florida. And there was me and another guy and him. He said, let's all get a Winnebago, go over there. I think we were only about 17, 18, something like that, 19. Let's go over. Let's spend a few weeks just driving around. We'll stop at my uncle's. Anyway, a couple of us ended up dating, so we pulled out. He went on his own, and he played Steel Pulse on his Ghetto Blaster, and his uncle come in and switched it off and threw the tape out. He went, and he found out, he went to get some towels to have a shower, and there's a Ku Klux Klan outfit all ironed, and which shocked my mate. And he went, oh my God. And he just left. He just got a place, got a hotel. He said, I'm not staying with them. That's awesome. He's just playing Steel Pulse, and he just went, get that off the. It's like, oh my God.
That's awesome. Great story.
But it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. I'm fascinated, and I can't wait to hear some more of this music. And like I said, with K-Star Misbehaving, it is. And like all of them are that you're doing, you know, on all projects, are timeless classics.
I appreciate
Doris Day, you know, everybody knows Doris Day, and that there was something about a style, whatever they wore, whatever the films were produced in them days, the music, there was just an iconic era, I think, for everything.
It was serious.
Yeah.
Everybody took it seriously. It was dead serious. Everything about it was serious. Everybody studied what they did. They were good at what they did. They were passionate about it. Yeah, very, very important. That's where I learned from my mom, especially my father. Yeah. Hopefully, I can make him smile now with all this stuff.
I'm sure
you can keep up with me on my social media, my website. It's all the same. It's John Forbes Music.
Yep.
Whether it's .com or on Instagram, it's John Forbes Music, and all these things are on there. I try to blog this stuff myself as well and explain how I did it. In the upcoming projects and all that as well. So yeah, this Richard Williams story is going to be epic this year. Look out for that. And if you ever, you can get in touch with me through Bev. I can get you and Mr. Williams, Venus and Serena, Shavante Lassane, the son who's the partner in the movie industry here. I can get you those guys for interviews if you.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. I really appreciate.
I know they're going to do Wimbledon again.
No,
girls.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. And this will go out on a YouTube channel that I've just produced the other day. So I'm putting all the videos now onto YouTube, and we'll superimpose some of the music as well that you've been involved with, and we'll do that. And then people can go and have a look at this and see us chatting from a face-to-face basis. And
make sure they get me the links to all that, and I'll propagate it with my agents in Los Angeles. It'll go out to a ton of people. Okay.
Oh, no problem. And I say with the radio links as well. Bev has all those anyway, to be honest. But I really appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck with the films as well.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. Take care.
All the best. God bless. Same to you. Bye-bye now.